One major hallmark characteristic of children with autism spectrum disorder is deviant or delayed speech. For those who have not developed speech, alternative communication systems are taught and implemented to help them communicate in meaningful and functional ways. One of these systems is the Picture Exchange Communication System, otherwise known as Pecs. Pecs is a pictorial system that involves an individual choosing a picture from a board or binder that he or she hands to another individual in order to functionally communicate their wants and needs. Pecs uses basic behavioral principles and techniques such as shaping and differential reinforcement. Pecs are used to teach the individual to spontaneously request what they want or need, or to respond to questions such as, "What do you want?" Pecs can have some really positive advantages if chosen to be used as an alternative communication system. First, cost is relatively cheap. Since the Pecs are placed onto a board, around the house, or in a binder if you need to take the system mobile, it only requires pictures that can easily be printed at any store or from any printer. The Pecs system requires few complex motor movements. All it involves is the taking of a picture off the board and handing it to another individual. Another advantage is this system does not require the listener in the exchange to understand an alternative language like they would need for other systems such as sign language. Finally, this system incorporates functional communicative responses that produce meaningful and functional language for the individual using it. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using my iPad to represent the Pecs board. Typically, this is a board or binder with pictures velcroed to the board that the learner takes off and hands to the individual for an exchange of items. However, I do not have a Pecs board with me and will be using my iPad for the demonstration. Now, in order to teach someone how to use the Pecs system, it is recommended that the first items that are taught are highly motivating items that would entice the individual to use the system. Once this skill is taught, Pecs can be expanded to reach more items. It is also recommended that when first teaching Pecs, there are only 2 or 3 options available for the learner. For example, if I am trying to teach Johnny how to use this board, I would set up the board with 2 or 3 pictures of highly motivating items: cookies, chips, and goldfish. When I say, "What do you want?" I would have Johnny pick up the item, which would require him to pick the item off, which may require people to use hand-over-hand teaching when you're first starting to teach it, hand it to me, at which point he would receive the item that he chose. Once he has mastered this skill, more items can be added to the board or binder. Binders and boards can be very simple or very complex based on the skill acquisition of the user. Binders and boards can feature only several cards that are frequently used by the user, or can be broken down by categories such as home, food, activities, clothes, toys, etc. Although there are several pros to using Pecs, as with most alternative communication systems, there are also some cons to consider. Pecs is a primarily nonverbal form of communication since no actual language is spoken in the exchange. Some worry that using this nonverbal form of language will only continue to hinder the individual's ability to use spoken language. Since Pecs is a variety of picture cards, we must consider that our wants and needs change every day. We all want new things at different times. Our knowledge also expands daily as we learn new things. Therefore, Pecs must be constantly updated and modified. For example, for someone who has a very large palate in terms of food, you may have to have pictures of every fruit, every vegetable, every food item that they could possibly want. It could be endless. So in order to keep up with the ever-changing needs and wants of an individual, it can require a lot of time and energy on the person who is creating the Pecs. It's nearly impossible to have a full, comprehensive binder of every picture that they may ever want. So in the end, it is important to choose a communication system that works for the specific learner. Choosing a communication system should be based on the skills and the needs of the learner first and foremost, regardless of the pros and cons. So that is all for my video, and thank you for watching this brief overview on Pecs.